What is going on, Eagles Nation? We are back with another film session. First, I want to congratulate this team for working their tails off and making it to the Super Bowl. It wasn't easy, but they definitely got it done. Today, we're talking about what the defense, not named Jalen Carter, did this past game. If this team is going to win it all, they need everyone to contribute. And that's exactly what they did against the Commanders in the championship game. So let's break this all down and see what these players did. So in this rep here, Nolan Smith has really elevated his game compared to last season, making impact plays throughout the year when it really mattered most. You'll see him line up against the left tackle, use a quick ghost rush, and bend the edge, finding his way to Jaden Daniels. This play really got the Eagles in his zone, and this energy is needed when it comes down to your edge rusher. So we'll go ahead and rock with it. So zooming in on Nolan Smith, just watching them lined up out wide, they love these speed rushers to be able to get the advantage, but seeing them just storming off the ball and using a quick ghost rush. The beauty about these ghost rushes, you got to be able to bend. You cannot get your hand on the offensive lineman. You got to find a way to be able to dip underneath them and bend the edge. And with this type of athlete throughout this year, he has shown that if he does have a beeline straight to the quarterback, he will be able to close. And seeing him get to Jaden Daniels quickly and getting that sack. And this is a player that has really been stepping up all throughout this season. Sometimes with these linebackers, these defensive ends, it could take a year or two to be able to get going. But what makes this player stand out, not only is he doing this in the regular season, he is stepping up in the most important games. Whether if it's ghost rushes, club moves, he has the ability to be able to get to the quarterback. And once he gets into position, his athleticism takes over. And we're going to get to a point, if he can be able to keep this up, a lot of these offenses are going to start scheming around him. And this is how other guys can go out there and make plays. Jordan Davis, Jalen Carter, the list goes on and on when it comes down to this front seven. But seeing him going out there and making a big time play in this game was great to see. Here's a play that I like from Nolan Smith, where he delivers a solid blow to the pulling guard and finds a way to make the tackle. And throughout this game, it was very physical in the trenches. And seeing him jump off the screen in such a big time game shows promise. So we'll go ahead and split it. So locking on this play here, just watching that pulling left guard, Nolan steps up and he clashes with him. The thing is with me, I love to be able to see the physicality when it comes down to these trenches, finding a way to be able to disengage and make the tackle. And when you are playing defense, you want to make sure that everybody is rallying to the ball. All of these defensive players got to have that same temperature when it comes down to this defense. Because when you are watching film, you want to see if your defensive linemen, as well as your linebackers, are stepping up and being physical. And this is a classic NFC East game where you got to establish that line of scrimmage and let the opposition know that you're going to be there all night. And with a lot of these defenders in the NFL, there are some guys out there on film that when you see these guards pulling, they do not step up. So it's good to see that it's not the case when it comes down to Nolan Smith, stepping up and going out there and getting busy. Jordan Davis was another player who made a huge impact this game. He's one of the players who primarily makes his money stopping the run versus rushing the passer. But we've seen throughout his college days and early NFL career that he can be solid at both. This sack was a big time game changer, and interior pressure like this is one of the hardest things for a quarterback to get away from. So let's run it. So running this play here, just watching the left guard strike Jordan Davis in his face mask. And these reps did not see this on this play, but that lunge with the left guard is what gave Jordan Davis leverage. Driving within that A gap and finding a way to get his hands on Jaden Daniels. And when you do have a player that's coming straight at you at that defensive tackle position, it is a nightmare when it comes down to these quarterbacks. And with Jaden Daniels, he does have enough speed to be able to get away. But Jordan Davis is one of those guys that if he does have a good positioning, he has enough speed to be able to close in. And with these offensive linemen in the NFL, when they know that they're going up against stout defensive lines, they tend to lunge. And sometimes when they lunge too quickly, that can give these defensive linemen the advantage to make solid plays. So seeing that left guard, striking him with his face mask, and Jordan Davis still went out there and played with a high motor and got to the quarterback was another good rep, maximizing the opportunity that's given. Here's another quick clip of Jordan Davis affecting the play and batting the ball down. So locking on this play here, just seeing him battling it out with that left guard and Tyler Biotish, and he got his hands up to be able to bat the ball down. And the thing is, when you're doing these little plays like this, you can bat the ball up, somebody can be able to intercept it, and it can be able to shift the momentum. And I have to give a lot of credit to the Commanders. With Jaden Daniels, he was doing some amazing things out there. So these little plays here matter to slow that offense down. And to bring out the best of your players on defense, you got to have these guys in a heavy rotation as far as the defensive line. And that's something that they have been doing all season, keeping these guys fresh and ready to roll. But fighting through that center and guard and still finding a way to be able to get his hands on the ball is what you like to see from Jordan Davis. If you want to see some of the best Philadelphia Eagles helmets and upgrade your man cave or your room, check out Green Gridiron's page in the description. These helmets are torch, available in mini or regular size with the visors, and they are built to last a lifetime. Click the link and use promo code JC Network for a discount on these amazing helmets. Now let's get back to the film session. Zack Bond is another player that was really making a difference this whole season. On this play, you'll see him use a quick finesse move to evade the offensive lineman and close in to make a key stop. And these are the reps here that I have to point out for you guys. So we'll go ahead and spin it. So locking on this play here, just watching number 67 get to the second level. But looking at Zack Bond, giving him a quick swipe move. And the thing is, when you're playing that linebacker position, all it takes is one sudden move to be able to make the biggest difference. You got to be slippery when it comes down to that linebacker position, getting low and bringing that heat to Brian Robinson. He did trip a little bit, but he still was able to hang on. Everybody else is rallying to the ball and being physical. With these linebackers and these defensive linemen, you got to go out there and have a nose for the football and hunt in packs. And with Zack Bond, the more repetitions that he's actually getting out there, I think that the sky's the limit when it comes down to his talent. And with this entire defense, with Nakobe Dean, Zack Bond, everybody on that defensive line, I don't think that this defense has scratched the surface of their potential. Not every defense is going to be perfect, but these players are going out there and making big time plays more times than not. So this ended up being a dominating play by Zack Bond, juking that left guard and making a play on the ball. Here's another rep of him getting his hands on the offensive lineman, maintaining distance, and disengaging and laying a hit on a ball carrier. So looking at this play here, just watching him going up against Tyler Biadasz, extending that left arm, disengaging, and making a play. And looking at this entire game, it was tough for the Commanders' defense as well as their offense. The Eagles did not make it easy for these guys at all. And we already saw what Saquon did on the first play of the game. But when you do see a team in the Commanders who hung 40 points on the Detroit Lions in their home, the Eagles had to be ready to play this game because momentum is everything. But the better teams, they crush that momentum from the opposition when it matters most. So you have to give this team their flowers. But seeing Zack Bond being physical and getting in on that action, that's how you make a difference, Eagles family. So on this final play here, when playing on the defensive line, You'll either be assigned to defend a single gap or two gap to stop running backs from getting through your assigned lane. Here you'll see Ajamo use his excellent technique to clog things up, completely stuffing the line of scrimmage. So we go ahead and run it. So run this play here, just watching Ajamo firing off the ball. Love to see the patience when it comes down to this player. When you're two gapping, you got to be very patient, finding a way to get away and get his hands on Austin Eckler. And seeing everybody getting to the ball and literally picking up Eckler. It just shows that these guys have really been stepping up. And with this defense, there is a lot to learn. It's not going to be perfect. They will give up plays from time to time, but I honestly think that they're only scratching the surface of what they can be able to do. With Ajamo, Williams, all these players not named Jalen Carter says a lot. So seeing Ajamo going out there and making plays too is what you want out of this player as well. So to be one of the better teams in the NFL, you want to be dominant on offense, defense, and special teams. And you got a taste of that this past game with the Eagles going up against the Commanders. Because from the very beginning of this play, it was hard for the Commanders to be able to recover. Now, with players like Jalen Hurts, all he's going to have to do is drive that bus. There are so many talented players with A.J. Brown out there, Devontae Smith, on top of Saquon Barkley. But when you have a special teams that's going out there getting fumble recoveries, the defense making big time plays, this is how you can be able to win those Super Bowls. So there is still one more game left to go play. So comment below and let me know what you guys think about this defense and what do they need to do to get those Chiefs out the way. So make sure y'all like, share, and subscribe and hit that notification bell because the way the YouTube algorithm works, if you don't hit it, you'll miss out on fire updates and the best football film sessions on YouTube. All right, Eagles family. Talk to y'all soon. Gone.